You're back, eh? Let's give people a few minutes to join. Let's give people a few minutes to join. I feel like I should, it's cold. I feel it was hot. Now I'm feeling cold. I feel like I should get something. So now, think about it like this, okay? Imagine, you're imagining now, I'm taking you to the imagination world. Imagine, I'm not saying you are, but imagine you are a loving parent. Just imagine, I'm not saying you are a loving parent, imagine you are a loving parent. So if you, in your imagination, you are a loving parent and you had a child. So this is the question. Would you shame your child? Would you criticize your child? In the imagination world, I've said, imagine yourself as a loving parent. Just imagine. I'm not saying you're a loving parent. Most of you are very narcissistic, even worse than your parents. Just imagine for a minute now. Imagine that you're a perfect parent. If you're a perfect parent, I have a question for you. Would you demand perfection from your children? Let's assume for a minute, like you are a loving parent. So would you demand perfection from your child? Would you shame your child? Would you tell them, kuja hapa wewe mtoto na kichwa kubwa hapa, kichwa kama marenge? Eh? Would you do that? Would you criticize your child? Unafanya nini? Today maybe you do it. I'm just saying now. Imagine. We are in the imagination world now. Imagine you are a loving parent. Imagine you are. Just imagine you are not. Imagine you are. You are not. Imagine you are. Would you do those things to your children? Would you shame them? Would you criticize them? Would you demand perfection from a child? Remember, this is a child. Would you demand perfection from a child? You're not even perfect yourself. All the way to wrong hole. Okay? But would you demand perfection from your child? Of course not. So, if you cannot demand that from a child, imagining yourself as a parent, how comes then you are not careful on how you speak to yourself? Because reparenting is all about speaking to yourself. I'll give you a story. Story, story, story. You have to say story come. Okay? Story, story, story. You know, if you don't say story come, I'm not going to tell the story. I want to tell you a story. I want to tell you a story. Story, story, yo. In fact, you're supposed to say story, story, yo. I want to tell you a story. You respond, story, story, yo. I want to tell you a story. This is a real life story. I want to tell you a story. Story, story, yo. So, sometimes back, this is like a few months ago, I was talking to someone, and being a Taurus, I'm very good with the senses, especially now. I can pick, like you can be saying something, all I need to pick is one word, just one word. I'll pick one word, and that one word is everything I needed to hear from your whole 1 hour of conversation. Because I know where that one word came from. I know the template that will have that word included in that conversation. Okay? So from that conversation, I was like, something has to change. And so that person, because we went back and forth, that person finally said, you know what? I know I'm doing the best that I can. And I know I am not where I was yesterday. And I know I'm becoming the best version of myself, regardless of where I'm coming from. And that is the best thing they have ever said. Okay? Because it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Because to me, this is what I had. Okay? This is what I had. I had someone who is speaking to themselves. I had someone who was speaking to themselves because they said, no matter what happens, I'm fine with it. All I know is that I am happy with myself. I am happy where I am in life, and I am happy in what I am becoming. So that sounded like someone was speaking to themselves. And how do we speak to ourselves changes our emotional state. And your emotional state is the most important part of yourself. It's your yin, it's your internal. How you deal with strength, how you deal with stress, how you respond to stress in your body, how you generate that overall feel about yourself comes from how you talk to yourself. Okay? So reparenting more so is how you talk to yourself. For example, whatever you tell yourself that you can do things that are scary, okay? You talk to yourself, you're like, I can do things that are scary. I can do things that are difficult. I can cut off friends, I can shed these bad habits. You are speaking to yourself. Because what you are learning is that you are learning that making mistakes is natural and that you can learn from them. You can learn from your mistakes, and that is natural. Okay? So when you're talking to yourself, you agree, I'm feeling scared right now. I'm very scared. Wherever I am in life, this is very scary. However, I am safe. I don't know about tomorrow. I don't know about the next hour. It's scary. Tomorrow may be scary. Thursday. However, right now you are safe. Right now you are safe. Self-talk. I show up to take care of myself. I'm gonna book myself a spa. I'm gonna go for a massage. Whatever you're going to do, it doesn't matter. That is self-talk. And how you talk to yourself is how you heal. Whatever you did yesterday, whatever you're going to do today, at the end of the day, you speak to yourself. You see, I did the best I could for today. Tomorrow is another day. Self-talk. Self-talk is very important. Let's say you are up, you are scrolling, you are distracted by this gadget, you can't sleep, it's midnight, you are still on your phone, you're browsing endless, it's not even healthy for you, you're not even learning anything, the hours of scrolling, you can be learning something to do online, all that data you can be learning something. Forgive yourself for that. Because what you're doing is that you're having a conversation with yourself and realizing, I can switch this around. Okay? You talk to someone, I need this and this and this, I need this, blah, 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 blah. You can tell them, wait, I need a good night of sleep before I make this decision. Let me go sleep. In the morning, I'm going to make a decision. That is reparenting. You are not pressured to make a decision. You are not under duress. You can take your time. Okay? Let's say you are fixated. You don't even know what to do. There's so much in your mind. You don't seem to be thinking. Everything is... And then you decide, wait a minute. Let me go and work out. Let me go for a body. Let me go move my body. Let me go put on some music so that I can dance. And then I can unstick my mind. That is reparenting. That is positive. To pass the bill, members of parliament, we have seen the youth protesting. We have seen them protesting. There is no urgency. So as members of parliament, we are going to sleep on this bill for another 40 days, and then we are going to come and pass it. That is emotional regulation. These are things that should be taught in school, because those things would be in parliament, like when you cannot reach a decision, you can go and sleep on it. But we are a society that is based on doing things fast. Body shaming yourself. Some of you, the way you talk to yourself. Najua niko na tumbo kubwa. Najua niko like this. So the first person to judge yourself is you. Stop judging yourself. Stop self-shaming yourself. Okay? These small things are the small things that are making you lose focus on where you are. Reflections of Love, old school. Okay. Roger Whittaker, my record player is here. It's a Sony record player. So I play my record sometimes. I like the old albums. They have so much wisdom. Okay. So give yourself time to play. Okay. To just be without any outcome. Don't always expect to have an outcome of anything. Look at the animals. They are so chill. They don't care what is happening. You can keep shouting about your bill. The animals, they are just lying. They know they will wake up tomorrow. They know human beings. Human beings are the only people who live out of chaos and out of nature. Reparent yourself, people. Reparent. Your pastor is not going to come and help you. Government is not to come. This is an individual. We are in a new world, age of Aquarius. You are going to do things socially, age of Aquarius, but as individuals first. So when you come to meet, you are coming to meet as healed people. That is the only way we can build communities. We can keep screaming, we can keep doing whatever we are doing, but reality has to dawn on you that this is a new world. The old is gone. The old was not working. In with the new world. Sasa, let me see if there's any questions. You see, 3,000 likes, over 30 people watching. You cannot even tap a screen to a 500 each or whatever, 30. I really struggle with anxiety, especially if I buy something or take a vacation or even go. No, go out. Stop self-shaving. Spend your money as long as it's for your own. Ask yourself, who made you feel guilty about spending on yourself? Who made you feel guilty? This is something that I'm still going through now. Okay, I'm also going through the same thing now. If you ask Monjiro, she will tell you, I am the most mean person to myself. To myself. Okay, fruits will go bad in the house. I'm not even eating the fruits. Why? I was not brought up in a house of fruits. Okay, so even when I take more than one fruit, I feel guilty. I feel like I should just take one banana, maybe eat half an apple. Not because we don't have apples or fruits, but because there's that mindset of wastage. I was brought up in a mind that we were wasting food. Like, I grew up in a home where we used to clean the plate. Ukimaliza una clean everything from the plate. If you took your dishes to the kitchen, kama umebakisha chakula kidogo tu, hata kama ni mchele, grains tano za mchele, that you get beaten by your father, unaharibu chakula. So, and that was in me from a young age. So even now, even in social places, I eat very fast. I don't even know. I eat very fast and I clear the plate, and then sometimes I'll sit and I realize, oh shit, haya, nimemaliza chakula mbele ya watu. But it's in my core. So I've accepted it. I eat fast because we live our patterns. Okay? Because sometimes if you are eating too slow, my father will take the food away from you. My father would just wake up and say, oh, meshiba, take the food away from you and, unaambiwa uende ulale. So, and I'm not saying that, I love my dad, but I don't have to love him, because whatever happened with his background, I also don't know, and I also don't care to know, and his grandfather, okay? The sins of your fathers all to the way to the fourth generations. So even now, I don't have something nice. Like even when I have something nice, I don't appreciate it because I didn't grow up in that life of appreciating or having the time to appreciate something good. So even when I have an opportunity to do something good, I have to self-sabotage. I'll self-sabotage myself because it's inside you. You can even sabotage a very good business opportunity because that business opportunity comes with a different lifestyle, but you have been taught or programmed that that's not for you. So you'd rather sabotage that so that you live on scarcity because that is what is deeply programmed inside you. Okay? You get what I'm going with this? Someone said you're trying. In this page, we don't try, we do. Okay, so you're going to do that. Okay, so buy yourself something nice, go on a vacation, okay? Travel, feel good about yourself. Um, vitu kama hiyo. Someone is asking, is that why the Lord's Prayer asks for forgiveness every day? Yeah, and remember, Lord is not God. Lord is you. Lord Daramea. Lord, my Lord's in quote 5. Give us from 42b. My Lord's, it's, my Lord does not mean God. My Lord means lower, a lower version of yourself. Okay? So that is why the Lord's Prayer, you keep forgiving yourself for your trespasses every day. Give yourself grace every day because you are already born not in sin, as they say, but you are already fallen. You are born under a template. You are born with a number, a birth certificate. So you are already born in a world that has a template. So by default, a lot of the things, whether you agree to them or not, you have no choice. You are given a name. It's not your name. Someone named you as a baby. Given a choice, you maybe would have even remained, maybe you have even picked a letter. You want to be known as a letter or a character, but someone named you. So give yourself grace. Okay? I usually buy my Peace Kids and buy Nanakula Mukimo, 100 bob. I don't know how to spoil myself. You see? It's that thing. You feel like you shouldn't. Okay? And I get where you're coming from. We bought pizza for family. Buy one, get one free, and you only take 2 slices. Unaambiwa usikule ingine haniko sawa. But you are not because you don't feel like you deserve to eat half a pizza or a full pizza. But then when you go out for children who have not been born in scarcity, unaona mtoto amekaa chini ameitisa pizza peke yake nusu na soda, anakula nusu, anasema mam, nataka chicken. Sasa naambiwa waiter, hebu mletee chicken, pack this for her, she's going to take it home, bring her a chicken. I even take the soda, bring her a chicken, and then bring her an ice cream. So for you, you're watching, you're like, man, they are spoiled. No, they are not spoiled. It's just that they have not been raised in scarcity. So there's so much we have to heal from. There's so much we have to understand that we learn from our patterns. You should go out and sit down and order yourself a drink or some good food and feel not guilty. Zero. Okay? I relate a lot of my healing my trauma with my beautiful spouse, Monjiro. Because Monjiro will buy anything. Okay? Monjiro would buy me a gift. The moment she brings me a gift, I feel guilty. And Yambi, I bought you this coffee. I'm like, how much did you pay for this coffee? She's like, I bought 1,800. I'm so thankful. But in my mind, I'm like, she spent 1,800 kuninunulia kofia. Fuck. Because in my mind, ningeenda kutafuta kofia 200. You get what I'm saying? Not because I don't have the money, but ningeenda kutafuta, feel I shouldn't spend more than 200. Ningeenda kwa mtumba, but she's going to tell me, but sio kofia nimekuletea kofia mzuri, ni quality mzuri, it'll last. It's not expensive, at least it's hata ukivaa no. You get what I'm saying? So, and then I realized it's how she was raised. Not with everything, but their mother raised them and shielded them from the mean world out there. Okay? So you have to start unlearning these patterns that you learned, because that is the only way you are going to heal, so that you can heal the generation that is coming. And that generation can bring a generation that is healed. Because that is the only way we can change this world. But it has to start with you. Okay? You have to share those traumas. And remember what we said, as we are shedding these traumas, we are not blaming anyone. We are not blaming our parents for their parents, whatever they did with them, because we are here now. We can no longer continue blaming our parents with their traumas and curses and generational curses, because we can change now, because we know we are not our parents and this is a new world and we are here. So we are the representation of what the age of Aquarius will be like. It is us who are here. So we are the representation of the age of Aquarius. If there is history to be learned, they'll be learning about what we did, us. Not our parents, not our grandparents. And then our children, their history will be what they did for their children. You're following? We have 15 minutes. So we are going to turn the 15 minutes into Q&A. Okay? So, right there on the timer, it's 5:15. Okay, my clock doesn't do the 11. My clock does the hour. So it's the fifth hour, 15 minutes into the fifth hour. So we are going to do a Q&A. So if you have a Q&A on the 515, so the 515 has a message for me also. So not just for you. There's a reason why it popped up. So you're going to start at 515, saa tano na dakika 15. So that is angel number 515, which means it carries a positive and hopeful message about change and renewal. Sasa, so let's do a Q&A based on 515. And if there's no question, we can end the live. And it's all questions go. All questions. Whether it's business, religion, entertainment, politics, and sports. We on all the 5V. How do you deal with rage? Buy yourself a boxing glove. Always tie your hands before you do boxing. Get on a tutorial. Get a punching bag and punch your way out of that. I have my punching bag outside. That's a good way to release your rage and your anger. I have classes where I'm creating an obstacle course where men will come to shed off their anger. Our men are bitter men, they are feminized, so they are not going to take the classes. So if the women want, it will be for the women. Where women will just come and smash things and punch bags and scream, and they'll be allowed to cry. That is the kind of community I want around me. I want a community where people can come and heal. I want a community where people can come and you change into a bathing suit. Kutakuwa na mahali kuna matope, hakuna mtu anakuuliza unaenda unaingia kwa matope, unacheza kwa matope, unajipaka matope, then you get out, you go get a good warm shower, then there's a massage waiting for you, self-care massage, kind of a spa thing, then you sit down with a glass of wine, and there's other people who are there to have a communication with you and heal with you and share with you. That is my kind of community. That is what I'm creating. In the meantime, get yourself some boxing gloves and look for a bag and punch it out. Okay? Yeah. What is the spiritual meaning of Mbake? Mbake has no spiritual meaning. If you're talking of tobacco, tobacco has no spiritual meaning. The meaning is what we attach to that thing. So you can take anything. You can take an inanimate object. What do I mean? For example, this is a withered flower. Okay? You can take this withered flower, okay, and make what you want out of this flower. Is we all collectively agree that this flower can heal cancer as a collective, then it can. Okay? So Mbake has got no spiritual meaning. Is the spiritual meaning we attach to it. However, when it comes to correspondences of where it is going to be associated with, when you look at the leaf of a tobacco plant, it has a lot of veins. It looks like the inside of your lungs. So by default, that means first it has to go to your lungs, relate with your lungs. Now, what is in your lungs? Air. Air goes into your lungs. Air is an element. What is air? Intellect, communication. So we can use Mbake to communicate, to connect to either oversouls that have agreed to use the same element. So we can use Mbake to communicate to the ancestors based on the fact that it comes from a leaf that has a lot of veins, and a lot of veins means a lot of capillaries, a lot of blood flowing. That is why they look like the lungs. That is even why we smoke tobacco. Okay? And tobacco, lungs, is associated with air, and air is intellect, or what you call mercury, or communication. You get where I'm going with this? I don't want to go too deep into the esoteric meaning of that, because this is a Q&A. If you go too deep, then people will not even have times to ask questions. But now you get, at model. Now you get the correspondence, you know? You get the correspondence. For example, This is a snake plant. Okay? This is a snake plant. This is a snake plant. So what do we say the snake plants to do in the house? Look at the leaves first. They are pointed at the end. Look at the leaves, the pattern. They look like waves. Okay, up and down. Those look like waves when you look at the patterns. So what do we call it? We call it a snake plant. What is the snake's correspondence? Your spiritual side. The snake is connected to your spirituality. That is why it's in the in a lot of the spirit is connected to your kundalini, sitting at the base of your root chakra, that you are supposed to awaken when you do tithing, the King Solomon ritual. Okay, which is what you call tithing in the church. When you take your money to the pastor, you are forgetting that to tithe does not mean taking money to the pastor. To tithe means giving 10% of your time to yourself or meditation. So when you look at snake plant, snake is associated with spirituality. So when you're using snake plant in the house and you say snake plant in the house cleanses the air, umeona iko na waves, it's good for all those. So correspondence is fast. So I hope I answered your Mbaki question. That is how we even come up with what to use for what. You get? At times I find myself shouting at my kids whenever they do wrong. How can I stop it? Try to catch yourself. And every time you shout at your children are not children. They are children in because they're in bodies. Talk to them, hug them, and your children can help you heal you. Talk to them, tell them, I'm so sorry I shouted at you. My parents used to shout at me and I would feel so unheard. So when I'm shouting at you, it's because I think you're not hearing me, but I'm really sorry, I'd stop. Your child will help you heal because they also understand. And children are very powerful also, since they are more close to the spiritual world. So what they will do, even when you shout at them, before you shout at them, they look at you a certain way, and then you are going to remember, I'm not supposed to be doing that. And you're going to speak to them with kindness. It is going to take some time, but you're going to get there. And shout out to you for recognizing that and admitting that it's been happening with you. Na dad mwenye amereject mtoi wake na ni firstborn anaongea hata vibaya kuhusu huyu mtoi. Don't force the child on him. Leave him, let him be. Yeah, sacred geometry on the snake plant. Let him be, because you see, the child came through him, but maybe he's not the father. And you have to understand this. The child came through you because you birthed the child, but maybe you are not the mother. Those are the things that people don't even talk about. That you are just conduits. Children come through you. They are not your children. That is even why the government understands that, and they can even take the children from you, and they tell you the children belong to the government. They can even take them away from you. Because I told you the government is more spiritual than you. The government is more spiritual than you. The government is even going to take the children from you. Because they understand that children are not yours, they just come through you. So wacha kulazimisha huyo mzee. Unasema he's the real father. No, he's not. Just because you slept with him and he gave you the seed does not mean he's the father. This is a spiritual page. He gave you the seed. He went to bed with you. He impregnated you, but he's not the father. That child came through him. Okay, so you cannot, maybe that child is his enemy. Maybe he gave birth to his own enemy. You get what I'm going with this? How are you, girl? How are you feeling? Come, kuja hapa. Chest is bad, eh? Sorry. Utaenda hosi leo? Twende?
No, it's outside.
Si saa hizi. Later. Umekuja mpaka na koko. Koko. Come on, koko. Sawa. Jifunike. Hata kule machungwa sahi. Ni warm? Okay, kula machungwa. Good. Ungemcrushia kunywa ikiwa juice. Mcrushie. Hauwezi grind? Oh, umekatakata sana. I'll eat that one. Mtengenezee warm. So yeah, so you may say that stop forcing that child on him. There's a reason he hates that child. Umeona watu wanaua watoto. You've seen parents who have killed their own children, and you have seen children who have killed their own parents. You show the child love. Don't force him to show the child love. Maybe he didn't even want to have the child. Maybe the child reminds him of where he could be. Pengine hata nasikianga trapped with you, with that child. There are so many parents who, grown-ups who are going to say, they even tell their children, unajua kama si wewe singekuwa hapa. So you don't even know what kind of trauma is going through, and you cannot force him to love that child. Since you can see that, you love the child now. You love the child now. Maybe in future, he will love the child, or maybe not, and he doesn't have to. Remember what I said? I said it. I told you here. I don't have to love my father. And I'm not even guilty about that. I can love him at a distance. Okay? So don't make that child get to that point where he feels the same because you are forcing the father to love him. He doesn't have to. Okay? And if you want, my number is right there. If you want more conversation on that, you can DM me. You can DM me. My number is right there. And maybe we can see what can be done deeply if you want to. If you don't want to, it's okay. It's okay. But I do hope that you show that child love. So, yeah. Growing up in a completely broken home, is it why my relationship breaks too? Yeah. Yeah. Sadly, yes, because you didn't have an example. So how are you going to love people when you didn't even know how to love people? How are you going to learn how to repair when you never saw your parents repair? How are you even going to apologize when your parents have never apologized to you today to how they treated you or raised you? How are you going to allow yourself to be loved when you never saw anyone in your home being loved? How are you going? So a lot of things, okay? A lot of things. There's a lot of things. That's why I tell you, book consultation, some things you have to be taken through. If you want, if you don't want, again, it's okay. So shout out to everyone in the comments. Now I have to end the live for real, for real. You can call on your archangel to come and help you to overcome that. That will be in 17 minutes. 5:45, that will be 11:45 to your time. So at 11:45, you can call on that archangel to come and help you before you get to the PM to overcome whatever you are going through. AKA, you can Google what archangel is associated with 11:45 a.m. in the morning. What archangel is associated with 11:45 in the morning? It's an angle based on the rising. First house Aries, when the sun was rising, that angle, that ray of light, that angel, that angle, we have different entities. As the sun travel, we have the sun deity, we have different entities and deities, different archangels that are guiding you. Sorry, my girl. So at 11:45, the Kikuyus will face the mountain. Wanasema nego etana maretana. So that's what I'm talking about. Get to understand what is at 11:45, that archangel that helps you deal with Anu or high noon or 12 p.m. Use that energy. Call it whatever you want. Don't call it whatever archangel they are calling it. Give it your own reason and meaning. Call on that energy to help you overcome whatever you are going before the 12 p.m. or what you call Anu in Kemet or high noon. Sasa, do have a beautiful day. Each one teach one. Teamwork makes the dream work. Kesho, back to the streets until we are hard over the bills. Ni sawa? Ciao, ciao. You don't have to go because I said no. Individual first.